when it comes to sci-fi horror. Very few franchises can stand on the same level as Alien. For decades, the movies have given us some of the most terrifying monsters and unforgettable death scenes in cinematic history. Now, the story has expanded into the small screen with FX's brand new series Alien Earth, and fans are already buzzing. The first 2 episodes dropped on August 12, and instead of giving viewers a slow and gentle start, the show wastes no time. Within minutes, the Xenomorphs are back in full force, and the kills are some of the coolest and most brutal we've seen in years. Set 3 years before the original 1979 Alien movie, Alien Earth brings us into a timeline where humanity is just beginning to cross paths with these terrifying creatures. While most shows would spend the first few episodes building up the world, slowly teasing the big monster reveal, this one takes the opposite approach. Instead, it throws the audience right into chaos aboard the USS Maginot. The tension, the fear, and the shocking deaths happen almost immediately, setting the tone for the rest of the season. Fans of the franchise have always expected gore and high-stakes horror. But the way this series delivers it right from the start makes it stand out. The premiere was released with a 2-episode drop, and honestly, that was the smartest move possible. If only 1 episode had come out, fans would have been left hungry for more after the first wave of kills. With 2 episodes back to back, we got a much deeper look at how terrifying the Xenomorphs are going to be in this series. And judging by how violent and creative these deaths already are, it seems like the writers and directors are not pulling any punches. This isn't a watered-down, TV-friendly version of Alien. This is full-blown sci-fi horror unleashed on streaming television. One of the standout moments of the first episode is the sheer brutality shown when the Xenomorph takes out members of the USS Maginot crew. The attacks feel claustrophobic and tense. Exactly the kind of mood that made the movies unforgettable. The big scene where the Xenomorph smashes through glass to go after the cyborg isn't just thrilling. It's a reminder of how fast, smart, and unstoppable these creatures are. Fans immediately felt that adrenaline rush that the franchise is famous for, proving that this series isn't interested in holding back. Episode 2 raises the stakes even more. The tension doesn't let up, and the kills only get more inventive. One chilling moment comes when the search and rescue team is being hunted. Instead of showing everything directly, the scene uses shadows on the ceiling to reveal the massacre. This choice was genius because it gave us the horror without needing to rely only on gore. You could feel the helplessness of the characters, knowing something terrible was happening just out of view, while your imagination filled in the gruesome details. It's the kind of horror that makes your skin crawl and your pulse race. But the most jaw-dropping moment of the second episode might be when the Xenomorph emerges from Morrow's bizarre cocoon like bag. What follows is a violent rampage through the hallways, tearing through soldiers in a bloody display that feels both chaotic and beautifully choreographed. It's moments like these that remind us why Xenomorphs are such legendary horror monsters. They aren't just scary because of how they look. They're scary because of how fast, deadly, and merciless they are. By the time the second episode ends, fans already know this show is going to be relentless. What makes all of this even more interesting is the way Alien Earth avoids the usual slow build. Normally, shows in this genre would take a couple of episodes to introduce characters, explain the setting, and carefully lead up to the first real threat. But in this case, the creators know their audience. Most people tuning in are already familiar with the Alien movies. We already know what xenomorphs are capable of, so there's no need to hold back or explain every detail. Instead, the show dives straight into the action. The horror doesn't creep in gradually. It explodes into the story right from the start. And honestly, that's what makes this series feel so fresh and exciting. Fans don't have to wait weeks for something to actually happen. Right out of the gate, we're thrown into the kind of terrifying survival nightmare that has always defined the franchise. For newcomers who might know much about the Alien universe, it doesn't take long to figure it out. These creatures are fast. They're strong. They have tails that can pierce through you like a spear. They spit acid that can burn through almost anything. Even if you've never seen an Alien movie before, 2 episodes of this show are enough to understand why these monsters are feared. The choice to lean into the action so quickly also sets up an important promise for the rest of the season. If the first 2 episodes are already this brutal, fans can only imagine what's coming next. The show is clearly not interested in saving the big moments for later. Instead, it feels like every week will bring something shocking, bloody, and unforgettable. That's exactly the kind of pacing that works in today's streaming world, where audiences want big payoffs right away and every episode needs to feel like an event. It's also worth noting how well the kills are shot and designed. In some horror shows, violence can start to feel repetitive or over the top, but here, every attack feels purposeful. The way the xenomorphs move, the way they strike, and the way the camera follows them all adds to the sense of dread. Sometimes you see the attack up close. Other times, it's hidden in shadows. Either way, it always feels intense. This balance keeps the audience hooked and makes every death scene memorable in its own way. Another big reason fans are impressed is how the series captures the claustrophobic tension that made the original movies so terrifying. The setting aboard ships and confined hallways means there's no easy escape, and every corner could hide danger. This atmosphere makes the kills even scarier because it feels like there's no safe place to hide. The sound design also deserves credit. From the chilling noises of the xenomorphs to the panicked breaths of the characters, every detail makes you feel like you're trapped right there with them. Earth can keep this level of intensity for the rest of the season. It could easily become one of the best entries in the entire franchise. Fans have been craving a proper Alien story on television for years, and now that it's finally here, it's delivering exactly what they wanted: high-stakes survival horror with no holding back. And the fact that we've already seen some of the coolest kills in just 2 episodes means the rest of the season might blow us away even more. Of course, the big question moving forward is how the show will balance the horror with the story. Right now, the focus is very much on the kills, which is exactly what fans wanted to see. But the franchise has always thrived when it also dives into themes like survival, corporate greed, and humanity's curiosity about things it can't control. If the series can combine those themes with nonstop terror, then Alien Z Earth could end up being a truly legendary addition to the saga. For now, though, the conversation online is all about the brutality of those first 2 episodes. Fans are sharing their favorite kill scenes, debating which one was scarier, and speculating about how much worse things are going to get. That's the kind of hype that shows dream of generating, and it's proof that Alien Death Earth has hit the ground running, with weekly episodes dropping every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Audiences are already counting down to see what kind of carnage comes next. In the end, Alien Earth has done something rare. It has managed to please hardcore fans, while also being accessible to newcomers. The kills are gory enough to satisfy horror lovers, while the action is thrilling enough to pull in casual viewers. And with the promise of even more terrifying encounters on the way, it's safe to say this series is already a must-watch. If this is what we're getting in just the first 2 episodes, the rest of the season is going to be unforgettable.